The film Maybe Tomorrow was inspired by mostly just like being more comfortable with my identity and who I was. So I moved away from home for a couple of years. I moved to Australia and I took up my master's and I started working there, and I was just exposed to this more liberal environment where I could be whatever I wanted to be and date whoever I wanted to date. And so I was like living this really good life in a place far away from home, and I kind of just had this realization that, like, why can't I have the same life back in the Philippines? And so Maybe Tomorrow was inspired by that experience, like the want to have my dream life back in my homeland. The Philippines is a very conservative Catholic society, and so growing up, I never really saw a representation of myself or who I wanted to be in local media. Because whenever I would see a lesbian or a gay guy in local media, it would always be this like hyper masculine butch lesbian or this super feminine gay man who worked in a local parlor or salon. And so, like the lack of representation kind of hindered me from, coming to terms with who I was. I actually came out because my first girlfriend broke up with me on a Saturday night. And then since the Philippines is like super religious, everyone doesn't go out on Sunday because that's the day that you're supposed to go to church and spend time with your family. And since it was my first like real actual heartbreak, I was really really sad on a Sunday, and there was no one that I could drink with because it was a Sunday. So in the depths of my sadness, I ended up actually coming out to my mom because I just needed someone to talk to. And so yeah, that's how I came out, because I was like heartbroken. So I always say that Maybe Tomorrow was the film that a younger version of myself needed to see. So it's kind of like a reassurance or a pat on the back to a younger Sam, like, hey, it's gonna be okay. I know that you're super confused right now or you're really scared to come out, but at the end of the day, it's all gonna be okay. A lot of people think that this film is a love letter to one particular person, but it's actually a love letter to my friends and in my community who don't necessarily see themselves portrayed in their local media accurately. And so like, everyone's like, oh, you built a monument for this one girl, but I always correct them and say, actually no, it's a love letter to a bunch of people who, helped me become who I was. So it's not just about romantic love, it's actually about love between friends and self-love as well. People always ask, like, would you ever consider directing a love story between a man and a woman? And I always answer, yeah, of course I would. But if I have to set aside a lot of my time to write a script and pitch it and to find funding for it, why not put all my efforts and energy into making a film for this sector of society that's underrepresented? Because there are already so many people who are making traditional love stories. So if I had to go through all that effort and put all my time into something, why not make something that's worth making, in my opinion? So yeah, I mean, if given more opportunities in the future, like, I would love to be able to make queer films for the rest of my life.